I'm Channing McCorriston, the Container Guy. It's become common knowledge that shipping containers are one of the best places to keep all of your personal items nice and secure in storage, but there is one inherent problem to shipping containers. Follow along in this video, I'm going to show you how to solve it. Stay tuned. All shipping containers require adequate ventilation, and they do not have it from stock. The stock container ventilators, they shouldn't even be called vents. They're actually just meant to depressurize the container. So if the container gets super hot, it doesn't expand or contract and bulge or shrink the metal corrugated sides. And so if you're utilizing a shipping container for storage, you will find if it is not ventilated, it gets smoking hot inside, and that can damage your goods. That can melt things like candles, chocolate, whatever. Things that have low melting points get ruined inside containers. But probably the biggest problem with not ventilating a shipping container is the condensation that happens inside the can. So if you bought a container, you're storing your old restored muscle car in there, you put it away for the winter, you come back in the springtime and you realize the entire frame's all rusted right out. That sucks. So in order to prevent that, for the most part, you can install BigAir 45 vents. And lucky for us, Container Modification World has just expanded their product line. So now you can see here in front of me, we have the BigAir 30s, and then the tried and true BigAir 45 and a BigAir 60. And between these, some people are concerned about cutting even a 9x14 hole in the side of their container. And so we've got that request a few times, and Container Modification World's come out with a smaller version, so a nice small hole. You'll be certain that no kid's gonna squeeze their shoulders through that rough opening. And then for instances where you have a whole bunch of containers beside each other all in a row and you need good ventilation and you can't put multiple BigAir 45s along the side because the cans are touching each other, you can use the BigAir 60. And so these installed on the end wall of a can or in the doors, that'll give you more ventilation when less sides are exposed, and especially for those that don't want to install our BigAir solar or BigAir skylight vents. So these here, they all utilize the same method of installation. They come with rivets or self-tappers. We always suggest the rivets. You cut a square or rectangular hole in the side of a container. Make sure that you're cutting it on the outside corrugation so you always have something to grab with these flanges here. And then it is the same process. So it is cold outside right now. I am not going to install all three of these and show you how to do it. We've already recorded that in the summer, so let's jump to that footage. If you purchase these products, I will show you there how to install them. It's the same method, just different sizes of rough openings. First step to installing these vents is actually figuring out where on your shipping container you want to install them. So we recommend, if you're only using two BigAir 45 vents, to put one high and one low on opposite corners of the container. Included with your vents will be a paper template, which has the rough opening that is 9 inches wide and 14 inches tall. You can tape your paper template to the container. Once you have that in place, make sure you hold up your vent and ensure that the vent will fit nicely in the hole that you have laid out. And the key, number one, most important thing here is that you're doing this on outside corrugations. So you want to make sure that you leave yourself with something to secure the outside flange of the BigAir 45 vent too. So if you installed it one corrugation over where you had inside corrugations on both sides, this would not work. Now you got to get out the welder and fix your hole. So grab your felt tip marker and follow along the marking template that's now stuck to your container. Make sure you at least mark the outside corrugations, and then once you remove the marking template, you can finish marking the inside corrugations afterwards. Once you got your vent in place, nice and snug in there, now just grab your drill drill through all of the laser cut holes, and then just follow along again once more with the rivets. Final step is a nice bead of silicone along the top and the bottom, and that'll keep water from intruding in. Also, if water is ever to get into the gable vent here, there are 2 drain holes on the inside corrugation section of this vent, and that will allow the water to drain and drip out of this vent. So don't be worried about, water coming in and around. If it does get in, it'll get out. So given the way that air moves in these containers, the lower one will typically act as the intake. So for this, we are going to be installing it on the sidewall corrugation. So you see the different corrugation profile on the sidewalls. Big thing to note here is you need to choose the outside corrugations on both sides again. If you installed it over here and had nothing to install it, this vent would not work. So the outside flanges require the outside corrugations to rivet or self-tapping screw into. And then for this one, just for demonstration purposes, we're going to be installing the BigAir 45 vent with the bug screen. So you see the difference here. Some people, especially in the lower United States, are concerned about little critters crawling through that tiny little gap there. I don't really see it happening, but to solve that problem, there is this bug screen, which is the same mesh material that's on your screen door of your home. So this here, we'll get her installed and show you how this works as well. If you're fussy, you can even jump inside and silicone along the top edge, down the sides, and even your rivets in case the center punches out. There is the cheapest insurance money can buy to protect your valuables from the elements. If you're looking to keep your items secure from vandals, check out Container Modification World's high security lockbox. That right there is a sneak preview of these new products. If you enjoyed this video, please help us out. Give it a like. If you want to see more, please subscribe to our channel and ring that bell for notifications. And as always, check us out at tcg.ca. Hope you learned something. Woo!